What is up, you guys? Thank you for watching this Spade Shades video. I'm really proud to bring you guys this video, even though it might be a day late. And that's simply because what I was planning on doing the video over just came in the mail, and it did not come in yesterday like I was expecting it to, but you never can tell with some things, so here we are. Now, in my haste, and how excited I was to finally get this in the mail, I opened it a bit early. I would usually do an unboxing video when I get something in the mail, and I'm going to do a deck review over it. I usually do an unboxing video, but I was really excited to get it in the mail. So I went ahead and opened it and kind of played around with it. So I'm sorry about that. But anyways, here we have our newest review. That's right, it's Fontaines. The Black Fontaines specifically, and I am so unbelievably freaking happy. I was just, I don't know, man. Well, I guess waiting until January for this deck to come in is really what's done it in for me. But yeah, it's well worth it. I've already, like I said, I've already kind of pulled them out and played with some of them. Well worth the wait, without a doubt. So anyways, what you see here is the Fontaine sticker, which you get after you open the packaging. A Biz and Zach Take Europe sticker, which is kind of their sticker, kind of their logo for that. And then you get the cover of the Biz and Zach Take Europe, the cover of the DVD here. And you get another Fontaine card. This is the website, fontainecards.com sticker. So those are the stickers that you get, which I'm really happy about. It's really nice to have some stickers. Probably going to add them onto my laptop or something. So how many decks of Fontaines did I buy? Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and pull them out. Something on there on that one. Well, I have 5 here, but as I said, I've already pulled some out and played with them, and as you can see, these are wrapped. So here is my 6th deck, and the final deck in the half brick that I ordered, which was $55 with the Kickstarter campaign, which is not too bad considering that each of these decks right now are starting at, I believe, 15 apiece, maybe a little bit more. Mine might be a little bit less, but either way, it might be 12. But even if you add that up, you've got 50 or $60 here. So I paid 55. If I wouldn't have opened this one, I could have been making $72, you know, if I just wanted to resell them. So not a bad deal at all. Kickstarter, if you've had any doubts about backing a Kickstarter campaign up until this point, you should just go ahead and start backing Kickstarter campaigns, because they're well worth it. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. For this deck review, because of the simplicity of this deck, I'm not going to be doing still images, just because it would pretty much only be a still image of the back design, and that's just something that I can clearly show you here. And if you're watching this deck review, you're more than likely familiar with this deck and what it looks like anyway. So this is more or less me going to be talking about handling. Now, as you can see, it says on the side, distributed by Fontaine Cards. He changed the art files for this deck to where it no longer says Fontaine Finesses. It says Fontaine Cards, which I kind of liked Fontaine Finesses, but, you know, it is what it is. The bottom says 1 of 15,000, first edition, black, designed by Zach Mueller. And the top says Fontaine. You can see the back design here. You can see the Supreme back, which allows you to do the vintage holdout. Which is a very, very cool addition to this box. It's probably my favorite part of the box, and it's the only reason that I would say that I like this box so much, because otherwise this box is pretty standard. I mean, it looks like a box that you would get from like a short run playing card company. It doesn't look like a box that, you know, a company would sell that, you know, makes 15,000 of something. It doesn't look like that. It's pretty basic, I should say, but this idea here, the fact that this is included in the box, this concept, is just makes this box absolutely amazing with me. I have no other box in my collection of almost 400 decks that can do this move, this vintage holdout. So it makes this deck 1 in a million just from that. Well, not 1 in a million, but you understand what I'm saying. So Anyways, and then when you pop it open, you see that there is a little Fontaine spade right there. Okay, you can see that. Now, they didn't print inside the box, but I mean, you can't really, I don't know. I don't know that you can really ask that from like a short run type thing. Um, I don't know. But anyways, that's not a huge deal to me. So then you have your Fontaine Jokers, which just have the two F's and say Fontaine in the center. And then Fontaine playing cards. Now, as everybody's favorite part of the Fontaine playing cards is the fact that they are blank, except for that one ace that you saw. But anyways, I'm not going to waste my time trying to do that. This is a deck review, not a performance. It comes with a blank card, which is great for Magic. Absolutely great. The first thing I did when I pulled these out was go and do that, walk up to a friend, perform that little, you know, they're blank trick, and then make them all have pips again, and they were stunned just from the get-go. So, and then you can see your Fontaine Ace of Spades, which is just a basic ace and then says Fontaine in the center. And everything else is standard, literally everything else. It's all standard bicycle, which leads a lot of people to ask, why should I pay for this deck? What makes this deck special than from a original bicycle deck? And to a degree, they do have a point. I mean, you get different jokers and that kind of stuff, but who really cares about that in the advertising card? The cool thing is the blank card, but you can buy bicycle blank cards. So why would you buy this? Why would you buy this deck? Which is understandable, and the simple answer to that is, if you don't want to collect decks, if you don't want to be a deck collector, you shouldn't even be looking on Kickstarter to begin with. Kickstarter should not be a place that you go to buy your decks. If you're not a deck collector, you know, you don't belong. Not really. I don't mean to seem harsh, but my point is, if you're not a deck collector, then there's really no reason for you to be there, because, you know, Bicycle doesn't launch deck campaigns. Okay, they don't launch campaigns for their decks and that kind of stuff. If you're fine with having just basic bicycle decks, then go to Walmart or your nearest store and just buy a basic deck. You know, that's what it's for. But this is for people who want something different, who want to get something different and enjoy variety. You know, and that's simply what this is about. And for Fontaine and to be specific with Fontaines, it's a brand. I mean, it's like, why do people go to, you know, really expensive clothing stores and pay, you know, $80 for a pair of jeans when you can go to, you know, Walmart and get a pair of, you know, I don't know, Wrangler or Levi jeans or whatever brand you might throw in there for $20? You know, why do people pay extra? For brand, for popularity, to go with the flow, to go with the crowd. That's, I mean, that's all it is, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing at all. So that's the answer why. I hate when people say, why would I pay that much for a deck? You don't have to. Don't. I mean, that's just simple. Don't. You know, it's not a requirement. You know, you're not going to be ostracized if you don't have a deck of Fontaines or, you know, a Dan and Dave deck or whatever. It's simply for variety. And me personally, I like variety in my decks. I like collecting a lot of different decks, and this is a deck that is well sought after and has a good reputation for being very good for cardistry and handling very well. Okay? And clearly it does. This deck handles like an absolute dream. Okay, it's really slippery because it just came out of the box, obviously, but it dribbles like a dream, springs like a dream, other than me throwing cards around. I mean, it's great. I mean, you can do anything you want with it. It's so smooth. It's such a great deck. I mean, if you want to, if you're a cardistry person, I don't understand why you wouldn't have these at some point, because they look really good with cardistry, and they just handle great. I mean, they're just great cards, period, you know. So that's it. The one complaint that I have, and it is kind of a big deal to me because it's just part of my personality, Looking at the back design, when you look at it really closely, you can tell that this black panel, if you will, this frame, because really what this is this is a white card with a black stencil laid on top of it. Is really what it is with this part cut out. That's essentially what this is. Um, when you look at it, it's this black part is off center. It's not centered on there perfectly, which is agitating. And it's fairly noticeable too. I won't say that it's not noticeable. It's kind of like the misprint bicycle decks where one side is fatter than the other. Yeah, it's like those, which which is a bit of an annoyance, but also a bit of a plus because, I've got all of them facing the same direction right now. I'm fairly sure if I had you pick a card and then I turned it the opposite way, then you were to spread the deck out and look for it, I can tell that your card is right here because it's thinner. I mean, I don't know. I guess it just depends on how you feel about that sort of thing, about it being off center, whether or not you like that or not. So, anyways, great handling cards. I give them a 10 on handling, an 8 on design, just simply because it is a simple design. I mean, everybody can agree with me with that it's a simple design, and I'm more appreciative of designs that have a lot of intricate detail and stuff because I feel like a lot more thought went into it. But I know this was something that Zach just kind of dreamed up in Photoshop one night, and it has launched into a very successful business, and that's awesome, man. That's great. The fact that you can turn your hobby, your dream, into a successful business, I think it's fantastic. So, great cards, awesome company, awesome deck, awesome guy, Zach Mueller. So, yeah, there you go. There's my Black Fontaine deck review. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.